Okay, so this is part 3, and I think we can start working on this head here, which is the most difficult part of this entire object. So we're going to do a bit of experimenting here, because I haven't tried this. This is my first attempt, so yeah, we're going to do a few different things and see what works best. So let's begin by modeling this directly, as we have been doing in different angles here, and see how that works, if that would work. So maybe let's hide this for a second, and let's begin with this loop here, because it defines the entire shape of the object. So again, let's add a plane, move it, make sure you are in the global orientation, transformation orientation, rotate 90 degrees to face you. Let's move this. Let's add a loop, then delete this side. Make sure to save this twice, just in case. Then I can scale this down and add a mirror modifier. Mirror. There, and let's see. I think we only need one vertex to begin with. So let's move this around here. You know what? I don't think this would work. This is going to be really hard for us to get that curve, but let's try and see. So if we add a loop, just add as very few loops as you can, just to get the curvature, the curve that you want. Because the more loops you add, the harder it's going to be for you to get the shape right. So there are two lines here. I'm saying there is this top one that goes at the border of this ring here, and there's this bottom one here. So we want to align these vertices to this one, not the top one here. So this, I think, needs to be moved a bit up. So this, I can also just subdivide this view, and this can be the front view, and this can be the side view. So it seems our images are not aligning correctly, so we might need to do some eyeballing here. So let's see, how are we going to work this out? Let me see. So what about if we started with two circles, with the circles instead? So if I add a circle here, and so it's in this direction here, rotate. Now, let me use a circle with less resolution. So align to view, let's use about 8 vertices, and move this again. What you can do, if you can also select the image planes and go under the image settings and reduce the transparency, so that they're easier to see. The lines are easier to see. So zoom in a bit. Need to rotate these to align, something like that. If we begin with this, it doesn't have to perfectly align, because remember, our images are not well aligned here. So around there, and then let me see if I moved my cursor to here, go to edit mode, Shift D to duplicate this, and then hit full stop on your keyboard, change the pivot point to 3D cursor, and rotate this 90 degrees. Can this work? Rotate, I don't think it's 90 degrees, but let's just get it to rotate to fit to position, to be positioned to this here. So rotate 90 degrees, rotate 90 degrees, and then we can move it. We change back to median pivot point. So we also want to align this. Remember, we're aligning this ring here, bottom ring here, so something like that. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just needs to look good. Okay, so I'll make sure that this one here is in the middle, like that, because again, we're going to be using the mirror modifier. So then, let me see, this push down and this pushes down. Let's see in this image here. Yeah, I see. So let's see if we extrude this along its normal, like that. I don't know, the orientation of this is still a bit off, so around this, around like that, and then also extrude this. I'm not sure if that's the right angle. Let's see. So around there, we would have this like this. Then, because this ring here is this ring here, so we can connect them, this to connect with this, I think around here. So if we select this here, this edge and this, so let's try going to front mode and see. Okay, so it's the same mode here, so you can bridge this. Let me see, how does this look? Yeah, so we can also add a loop here and push this in a bit and also push this in a bit to have something like this. And we're going to be using the mirror modifier, so we can select this side here, delete those vertices, and use the mirror modifier for that side, like that. And let's see how they are connected in the middle here. Let me see, let me look at this image here. So I can't make out how this is connected here, but let's see. I think we just need to bridge. I really don't know how they are connected. So I think if we added a loop like that, we would just bridge this with that, and let me see, we would also think this is let me see, is it, no, let me just do this, no, last, seems to be like that, but let me wait to do that. Let's see. And we can turn on clipping, then extrude this edge here to have them connected like that, and bridge these here, and down here we can remove this vertex like that. So I think this should be connected like this, and this should be connected like that. And this back side should also be bridged to the mirror like that. And now this should be connected to this, and this should be connected to this, and these bottom vertices here can be deleted so that we have something like that. Let's turn on subdivision surface. Okay, so these two needs to be connected as well. Let's see at the back, everything looks good. So here also needs to be connected like that. So you can see that the shape is coming around. And yeah, let's see what else do we need. So if we go to the front view, we just need to move these vertices around. Let me first turn off subsurf. We need to move these vertices so that they follow the curve, the set curve of our profile like that. So we have this loop here that goes nowhere. Let me see. I think we need also this loop here, to extrude it so that is connected. We can remove doubles because I think we have a double there, so it's been removed. And following this loop to see where it should go, I think it should be connected to this here. And we will later figure out, maybe this can also be turned into a single face like that. Yeah. So I think I need these to be fully opaque so that I can easily make out the shapes. Okay, and for this as well. And I think I can also extend these vertices. So which one are they? So I need to select this ring here, push it out. So what I can do here is select this loop here, Shift S, cursor to center, and then select this back side to around there, and scale that using the cursor as our pivot point. And I think I can go to this here and see how that is working out. Then maybe move this a bit. Do the same for this loop here. And let me see what, maybe this here as well. So maybe not that. Yeah, so we have something like that. That follows. And you see we haven't used any booleans, so I think booleans would have been really hard here to use. So that's why I tried to avoid them. And I think can come back to median point, select this loop, push it like so. And you need this also to follow that curve like that. Now we need to select this loop, this entire loop, and extrude it down. Now we just need it to follow this. Let me turn off grids, the grid lines here, so that it so that you can easily see this line here. So we are going to follow this line now all the way to the back. So we can just select this, this, this. Let's see. And I think we need to scale this back inside. So we can select this, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then maybe move this, just move these loops in a bit like that. And I think after that loop, we just need to select this loop, and this can be hard when you have the mirror turned on, so we can apply it for now. So go to the modifiers and then apply the mirror, so that we select that loop, entire loop, and extrude around there, then scale this, and you can see how that would look. I think this needs to be turned into a circle, so if you hit Alt S1, it should be turned into a circle, but let me see. Depending on the normals, how the normals are facing, but since it's not, let's just do it manually. For this, we may want to turn back the mirror modifier on. So just select these delete faces, and can come back in and start pulling these just to get a more circular shape out of them instead of this heart shape. I think it's not the best, but it's not also the worst, so we can go with that for now. Now if we turn on subsurf and see what we have, and let's see this. We can straighten these up a bit. Let me see, if we select this edge and get an orientation, transformation orientation for this, can we scale it in the same axis, in this Y axis, in this Z axis? Let's see. This is Z. It's not working out as I thought it would, so let's just straighten these up manually. So these need to be pushed out a bit. So you can turn on smooth shading as well, and you can scale this in again. Make sure you have clipping turned on for the mirror, and make sure the center vertices are merged and they are not going through the mirror modifier. So now we will need to add supporting loops to make this look sharp. So let's turn off this here. I don't know if we should just let's use the bevel tool, because I think we haven't used it in a while. So let's let's use that. And it's easier to make edges sharp, and it's very good to use when you're creating hard surfaces. So let's add a bevel modifier here. Make sure it's above the mirror modifier, and change the limit method to weight, and we can change the width to around 0.01. I found that that usually works best, and we can turn on the subsurf and start selecting, marking the bevel weights that we want. So we want this loop here to be sharp, so we can hit Ctrl E, bevel weight, and give it a weight of 1. Make sure you recalculate normals and remove any doubles. Remove doubles. There are none. So I'm having this issue here, but I think we can look at that later. There, I don't know what's happening here. Let's first turn off these modifiers and see what's going on. It seems we have an issue here, so let's first delete this edge and see. This edge has to be connected to this, and then this has to be connected to this. Yeah, and that's it. Just need to, okay, I think we still have, let me isolate this for a second. And okay, we have this vertex that is causing the issues, so we can remove that. And yeah, that issue is solved. So let's go back and see. It seems we need to play around with the bevel here until we get a good bevel. Wait. You can also apply scale and rotation, because that affects how the bevel works. You can see if we increase the segments to 2, you can start seeing that bevel there. Or you can also maybe add another supporting loop there, just to make that curve a bit more pronounced, like that. Now we need also another loop here. Like this. Maybe even a third one. Another one for this. And another one for this here. Or we can just select this loop here. Let me turn off the subdivision, select this, and then bevel that, Ctrl B. Now if we turn back this, you can start seeing the different edges. So there's also this one here. So let's give it a bevel weight and see. Okay, now it's becoming more sharper. So I think we can remove these loops here, supporting loops. But this one looks a bit too sharp for me, so maybe you can remove the bevel weight and just use an actual bevel with 3 vertices. So that is there, but it's not too sharp, as you can see here. It's not too sharp. Maybe the viewing angle I'm using, but yeah. By the way, this is how you make hard surface objects. You use a lot of bevels to make those corners sharp, It's not that different from any type of modeling. It's just that you use a lot of close loops that are close together to get those sharp bevels, sharp edges, or use a bevel modifier to mark where the bevel, those sharp edges are doing. So the bevel modifier also just does the same. So if I apply the bevel here, you can see it's also just doing what we are doing here, adding 2 extra loops for this, and yeah, so it's doing exactly what we're doing. But instead of adding the loops themselves, we are just marking a seam. We're just marking a seam where to add that. So yeah, and let's see what else. Yeah, I think this has gone over 10 minutes, so I will stop here, and we can continue in the next lesson. Thank you.